Namaste. Hey, you guys, I'm back. It's been a little bit. I needed to, take a break, reevaluate, reflect on life, all the things that we do when we are in a period of change and transition. So with it today, I would like to teach a hip balancing practice. So if your hips feel off balance, if they feel tight, achy, tense, if your lower back as well feels off balance or tight or just off, like this is for you. So we are going to need a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball, and let's get started on our backs. And we're not going to use the ball right away, so you can just put it to the side. Once you're on your back, take your right hand to the belly and the left hand to the heart. Close your eyes, feet flat, and begin to connect to the breath. Breathing in through your nose, from your belly, into your ribs, into your heart. With slow exhales out through the nose. Take several breaths here. Start to lift your knees into your chest and bring the hands behind the legs. Straighten one leg up at a time, and take note of how the hamstrings feel, the muscles along the back side of the legs, maybe the calves, which is the lower leg, behind the knees. Just becoming the observer of how your body feels. And then let's lift both legs up and circle the ankles. Notice what lights up here. Go in the opposite direction. And then wiggle the toes. Let's bring the knees back into the chest. Open the arms out wide. And on the exhale, drop the knees down to the right for knee down twist. Now close the eyes and breathe here. Breathe into whatever you feel. And as you breathe deeply, your body will relax. Allow this relaxation to happen. And become a witness to what this is. Simply just watching is how the yoga shifts your nervous system. Simply allow it to happen. On the inhale, let's bring the knees back into the chest. And exhale, twist down to the opposite side. Breathing here. Notice how this side of the body feels. Relax your jaw. Breathing from belly into ribs, into your heart space. Okay, let's bring the knees back into the chest and slowly lower the feet, pulling the toes up to the face. Slowly lower. Good. Walk your arms in towards your body and begin to press the lower back down into the mat. And what I mean by that is if you tried to slide your hands under the low back, you wouldn't let the hands come through. Or if I jumped out of the screen and tried to pull the mat out from under your low back, you would press down with your low back so hard that you wouldn't let me get the mat. And what that does is that it turns on our transverse abdominal muscles. That's our deep core that connects to our spine. And if our pelvis is off, if our low back feels off, we want to activate these muscles here. It will help, it can help decompress the lumbar spine. So press into the low back, and you'll notice naturally the hips will start to float off. And if that didn't happen naturally for you, that's okay. Go ahead and float the hips off the ground. And then slowly peel up into a bridge pose. Palms are flat. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down, upper back, middle back, lower back, pressing low back down into the mat again. And now here we go. We'll create a pelvic tilt and anterior tilt forward. So now you create an arch in the back so the hand could slide through if you needed it to. And then let's release that anterior tilt and exhale, ground the low back, slightly lifting up the pelvis. This is called a posterior tilt. And peel on up in that posterior tilt into bridge pose, set to Bandhasana. Inhale here, separate the toes, soften the jaw, press into your palms. Feel the glutes. Exhale, peel yourself slowly down. Ground low back. Inhale, tilt your pelvis forward. Exhale, ground low back one more time. Inhale, peel the pelvis off the ground, posterior tilt, lift into set to Bandhasana, bridge pose. One breath. Exhale, peel yourself down. Ground the low back, and then lift the left knee into the chest and relax the back. Bring the hands behind the left leg, straighten the leg, and rock your leg back and forth. Feeling into whatever lights up for you here. Any sensations? Sometimes I like to spread my toes and do this. I just feel different sensations. I invite you to do that as well. Or rotate my ankle in or rotate your ankle out. Okay. From here, let's pause. Now we'll take the ball and bring the foot down. Take the ball under the glute, the left glute, and separate the feet as wide as the mat. And then from here, sway your hips side to side so that ball travels from one side of the left glute to the opposite side of the left glute. Breathing here. And after doing this a few times, a few sways side to side, you can pause and bring the ball a little higher up on the glute so it gets the gluteus medius muscle, and sway the hips side to side. This is great if you do a lot of sitting during the day. This is also great if you like to, if you have a weightlifting practice, a weightlifting discipline, and you train legs and glutes. This is really good to help loosen up those muscles and just bring healthy blood flow. Okay. From here, let's go ahead and pause. If this felt really good, I invite you to do this more on your own time or take some of my other videos. I actually also have a tennis ball course where I do the whole body in detail. We go over anatomy, the chakras, pain, how to deal with it all. So link will be in the notes below. Let's take that left ankle over the right thigh. And go ahead and lift the right leg off the floor. Interlace the fingers behind your right leg and rock a little side to side. Breathe here. Use your breath as a tool to release tension out of your body. That is emotional, that is mental, that is physical. All of the tension that we hold within is parts of our past. So working on detachment, allowing yourself to feel things, allowing memories to come up, which they often do in a yoga practice, and just letting it go. All right, let's pause here. You can release the hands, open the arms out wide, and twist down over to your right, letting that left foot land. Breathing here, belly, ribs, chest. Soften your jaw. I invite you to reach the arms up overhead, bend the elbows. Think of lengthening the left ribs. Slowly release the arms out to the side and come back to center. And ground the low back, and let's lift this left leg. Go ahead and bend and straighten the knee a few times and release both legs. Notice the difference. Take a breath into what you feel. And let's bring the feet flat. Softly ground the low back again and take the right leg up towards the ceiling. Rock back and forth. Now notice the difference here. Notice where things light up for you. If it's on the lateral side of the body, which is like the outer side. If it's on the medial side of the body, which is like the inner side. Notice what happens if you rotate your foot one direction or the other direction, or splay out the toes, or point the toes even. I mean, there's so many different ways we can shift sensation and bring awareness to the physical body. Okay, let us pause and bend the knee, foot down, and let's take our ball and bring it underneath the right glute. Separate the feet as wide as your mat and start to sway your hips side to side, which moves the ball. I'll move my arm. Breathing here in through the nose and out through the nose. And after swaying a few times side to side, it honestly does not take much. You can bring the ball a little bit higher up, working with gluteus medius muscle, our outer glute. That's the, dare I say, the elf on the shelf muscle. Okay. Sway a few more times, side to side. And great, let's pause here. Remove the ball, and let's take the right ankle to the left thigh, lift the leg up, interlace the fingers behind the leg. Breathe here. You can rock a little side to side, soften the jaw. Go into where you feel tense and disperse the breath there. All right, let's pause at center. Release the hands and twist down to your left, reaching the arms out to the side. Breathe here. And I also invite you to reach the arms up overhead. Lengthening the ribs. Breathe from belly into ribs, into your heart space. On the inhale, let's come back up to center. Release the leg. Straighten out both legs. Activate lower body, squeeze the glutes and legs. Inhale here. Side out, let it go. Let's bring the hands down by the side and activate, squeeze the entire body. Quads, glutes, shoulders, neck. Pinch your face, inhale. Let it go. bring the knees into the chest, rock side to side. And if your back and spine permit it, I invite you to rock back and forth. Eventually rocking all the way up, seated, cross-legged, comes into tabletop. From here in tabletop, align knees under hips, hands under shoulders, tuck the toes. Inhale at center. And then on the exhale, tuck the pelvis first. And then let the spine roll like a wave as you round the back and let the head come down, soften jaw. And then on the inhale, start to lift the pelvis as you lower the belly down and lift the head. Exhale and round your back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. And from here, pause, float your knees, and then come up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bend one knee at a time, drop the opposite heel, separate your fingers wide. Think of sliding the shoulders maybe down the back. Just play with how that feels to lower the shoulders down. You can decide what you like better in your body, but just knowing that you have the ability to move your shoulder blades. Okay, from here, separate the feet about as wide as the mat. And slowly walk your hands back to the legs. Breathe here into that back body stretch, posterior stretch. Start to bring the feet a little bit closer, hip width distance, 2 fists. Okay. And then press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine from tailbone to the crown of the head looking forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into shins, lengthen. Hello, hamstrings, sciatic nerve. Exhale, fold. One more time, press into shins. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Okay, I lied. One more time, press into the shins. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Release your hands with a micro bend in the knees. Rise up slowly against gravity. Rising all the way up, lifting arms into Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale here. Exhale, lateral bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, lateral bend to the left. Inhale, center. Begin to separate the feet wide, heels in, toes out. Bring your hands to the heart and slowly lower down into a deep squat malasana. Now, if this is a lot, you could start to reach your hands forward. But if you are more seasoned with this pose, you can lower the arms inside of the legs, press the hands together, lift yourself up and breathe here. 5 deep breaths. So we're pressing away the legs with the arms, and our legs are pressing into our arms. Okay, so it's push-pull. Breathe. Now, more advanced, I invite you to come up onto the toes here. Separate the pinky toes out, lift the heels, breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, soft landing, 1. Bring the hands down. Let's lift the hips up and walk out into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, downward facing dog, looking at the feet. Bend one knee at a time. Stretching out legs, calves, feeling the support and strength of our arms, our shoulders, our hands, our breath. 2 breaths. And let's make our way down into tabletop. From tabletop, make your way onto your back. Bring knees into the chest. Rock side to side again here. Bring the hands behind the knees, straighten one leg up at a time. And these classes on here are short and sweet and to the point. So from here, release your legs all the way down. Coming into our final resting pose. Take an inhale through the nose and hold the breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Side out through the mouth. And I invite you to take right hand to belly, left hand to heart, or simply stay with your hands by your side. This is the most important pose, so take several minutes here to let yourself doze in, doze off, dive in, let go. If you enjoyed this video, shout out to my Wayside alumni. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what else you would like to see. And from my heart to yours, namaste.